So Robbie, you did an excellent job up on stage
Thank
talking
you.
about the importance of networking. Can you share just a little bit with us? Why is the importance of open body language so effective to advance networking for yourself?
So as I mentioned on stage, we go to these events and put a lot of effort and energy figuring out the logistics, but when we get there, we haven't really set the intention to meet people. And the power of events is that they convene people. So open body language is a way to tie your intentions to connect with people around you with the approachability, so people will come and actually talk to you.
I love that you talk this way because as an event organizer, the challenge that we often face is how do you make people feel comfortable? How do you make them feel engaged and come away with something valuable? So what lessons would you have for those organizing events that they could basically learn from your expertise and your knowledge of how body language is a key to successful event organization?
So I actually started with this as a social experiment when I was running groups, and I was training my regulars to do this because the regulars tend to be very cliquey, and then the newcomers don't have anywhere to go.
Absolutely.
And so by training the regulars, it's really about part of a bigger host mindset. And so having the regulars having a sense of how they are co-hosting the event with you, and the reason they do it is because it's actually to their advantage to have a sustainable, thriving organization.
Yes.
So once they understand their role, then new folks are going to be welcomed in, and it's going to be a great experience. Because really it's about retention of the newer folks and the people who've been going for a long time playing a big role. So training just even a small percentage of your team, your board, your regulars to do this, to have a host mentality, I mean, it amplifies the room. Like everyone will feel like, wow, this is really easy to talk to everybody.
I love that you talked about this host mentality at events because, making people feel welcome is so important. And, there's several types of people in the world. There's extroverts who probably naturally come by this.
Yes.
But, when you're talking about introverts, which I think a lot of us struggle with, how could, the techniques that you're training help introverts be more successful going out into life?
Well, first I need to speak to my outgoing extrovert like me. Just because you can break into a circle and start telling jokes and stories doesn't mean you should. So the introverts, though, part of it's just understanding the layout of the room.
Yes.
And my observation is that introverts actually are really aware of how everyone is in the room. Like they're paying attention. I'm busy talking. They're paying attention. So if they know to look for those natural openings, those naturally forming croissants, and go there as opposed to just going to the edge of the room. The edge of the room is difficult because even though someone might come and talk to you, the end of that conversation, it's not a graceful exit. It's difficult because you don't know anyone, they don't know anyone. What are you gonna do? Like link arms? So if you can just focus on being in the middle of the room, getting online for food or a drink, looking for people who are just sort of like standing more casually in a circle with one or two people, you're more likely to then get introduced to other people in the room, and you can piggyback that conversation into something more meaningful. Don't hide in corners. That's my number one thing for introverts, because someone might stand there very obtuse
Yes.
and talk at you, and you can't escape. So by being the introvert who's aware of the body language, by both standing more open yourself and looking for those openings, you will end up with better one-on-one conversations, which is actually where I think introverts really thrive,
Yes.
rather than trying to be someone who breaks into a big circle and takes it over, which is something none of us should be doing.
Oh, I love it. And so as we're wrapping up our conversation, what last piece of advice, conversation opener, could you give to somebody who's new to a conference? What is the opener line that you can pretty much approach any circle,
Yeah.
any person, to make them feel engaged? What is that last thing that you would tell
I
them?
love asking people, how did you hear about this event? Because it doesn't matter who you're asking. It could be the president of the board, a CEO, or a newcomer. They will have an answer, and you can always follow that up with other curious questions about, how long have you known about it? What drew you here? What are you most excited about? What are you looking forward to? Just getting people to bring more of themselves in. The question I don't want anyone to ask anymore is, what do you do? Because it just minimizes everyone to their business card, and it just limits the conversation.
Robbie, this is excellent advice. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
I hope
you.
it transforms the work of networking across all industries. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.